welcome back. If you're joining us this morning, this is Books and Blogs, and we are speaking with Miss Shalini. And she has shared about her life so far with the love of her life, Jeremy. If you're going through any sort of thing, like family ostracizing you, having to just navigate your way in a foreign land, the death of a loved one, you need to pick her book, Always With You. This is like a tribute to her life with her husband, Jeremy, who passed on 3.5 years ago?
Yes.
Yes, 3.5 years ago, and she was there to the last minute. It's a true story of love, loss, and hope. And how did the hope start coming?
So very strangely enough, my turning point was my father's death, which sounds very odd, but my father also had cancer, and he died exactly 18 months after Jeremy did. In the time that between Jeremy's death and my father's death, I was very destructive in my grief. So like I said, I was very reclusive. I turned to drink, so I would drink a lot of whiskey. I turned to painkillers because I was trying to numb the pain. So that's what I used. And I turned to food because I was trying to fill a hole in my life inside me. So I turned to food and I watched a lot of rubbish television. So that was what I did for a year. And then I started writing this book, and that was a very cathartic process. And just as the book was finished, I was ready to edit and publish. My mom called me and said, you need to come back to Kenya and be with us, and your father's not very well. So came back. I knew he had been suffering, he had been fighting cancer also for 4 years. So he also was going through that journey at the same time. And when he died, I saw him also fight to live. So Jeremy had fought cancer in all ways possible until the very last minute. It was only on a Monday night, Jeremy's oncologist said to him, there's no more we can do for you. And 72 hours later, Jeremy died. I believe because he had been given permission to go, he kind of let go of the fight. I think that actually the last year of his life he survived because of pure strength of mind and positivity that he was going to survive. The same with my father. I think he was so positive that he was going to fight this, that for the last year or so, that's what kept him going. But in the end, cancer is the most cruel of diseases, and it really eats you up inside if you have not got it early. And for both men, the disease had spread through their body. So to see them both fight but lose to cancer made me feel like, what am I doing with my life? I have health, I have life, and I am throwing it away. Because at the time that Jeremy died, all I wanted to do was kill myself. I was so suicidal. I write in my book that I would imagine how I would kill myself. I Googled it. I looked on the internet, what was the best way to go. But the thing that stopped me was the thought of my parents and my sister having to cope with another loss. And also, I know this sounds crazy, but I had a cat, Tabasco, and I couldn't imagine leaving him. So those connections kept me alive.
Why did you name your cat Tabasco? Who names their cat Tabasco?
Me, because when I went to England, I found all the food so bland. I used to put Tabasco on everything, and I used to have a Tabasco bottle in my bag. And in fact,
I'd walk around
with it, because it's not like here in Kenya, everybody puts Tabasco on the table. There, nobody had it. And we used to go to restaurants, and we'd order these amazing steaks and chicken and stuff, and I would take the Tabasco bottle out of my bag, and I'd put Tabasco, and then Jeremy was like, I hope nobody's looking. And then in the end, it was like, before we went for dinner, he'd say, have you got your bottle of Tabasco?
He wanted, to carry it.
Because he started eating really hot as well.
Yeah.
And my cat, my little kitten, when we got him, he was so fiery that he was a stray cat. He was very fiery, and I was like, Tabasco.
So he took after your personality.
He did.
Basically. Okay.
So that's that little story about Tabasco.
Yeah.
So for me, there were these connections keeping me here. And then when my father died, I was like, it was a turning point. I decided I wanted to live for Jeremy. I wanted to live for my father, but I also wanted to live for myself.
Yeah.
And I also, like I said, I spoke at my father's funeral. He had about 500 or 600 people at the funeral, and I said that grief changes. For me, grief originally, when Jeremy died, was this piercing pain in my heart, which I've described, and it's like you carry a stone that has a jagged edge on it, and that jagged edge keeps piercing you.
Yeah.
eventually those jagged edges smooth out, and you are left with a heavy stone, but it's a smooth stone. So the pain is a heaviness, an
Yes.
ache. And some days those aches, that ache is heavier, and sometimes it's lighter. Some days you carry on with life, and you can feel positive and move forward.
Especially like days when you have to have tiramisu, like tiramisu cake. Right?
How did you know that's one of my favorite? We're talking Tabasco, tiramisu, and a glass of wine.
And a glass of wine. So those days are a bit better now.
Yeah, so those are
they
my
brighten
happy
up your days.
Happy days. But that was like really interesting.
Okay. So you decided to leave.
So I decided to live, and sometimes, you know, I say that you're carrying that heavy stone, but I like having that heaviness sometimes because it reminds me I was loved by Jeremy, and that he loved me, and that our love is eternal.
Yeah.
So for me, that's very important.
Yeah.
But I have to move forward with my life.
Yeah.
I was 40 when he died. 40 is so young, and I had a lot I still wanted to do with my life. So yeah, it was time to live. And the thing is, I have this vision of, I said at my father's funeral, that I have a vision of Jeremy and my father up there together, and my father's doing a masala chicken karoga, and they've both got a tusker in their hand, and they are actually pain-free.
Yeah.
And I think that was really important. And if they're having such a great life up there, I want to have a good life down here. Drink my wine, have my tiramisu.
Have your tiramisu.
Do my
in
book.
some nice environment.
Yeah,
you
do
know?
my books, meet people, connect, show that I have gratitude for life, enjoy life, look after myself physically, mentally, and spiritually, so that I can go up and say to him, I had all these adventures.
Wow. Man, Shali, you're strong. Like, I first heard your story before I read it, and just hanging with you this couple of days, the last couple of weeks actually, your resilience is beyond anything I have encountered in my life, to be honest. I do not know how you pick yourself up from losing your husband and your father in a span of less than 2 years, and you decide to live, because live you did. You started online dating at 40. I mean, you just went in there. You're not even like taking time to meet someone the natural, organic way we all are used to. You decided, I'm going online and meeting them. And you say here, the knobheads, nut jobs, and nice guys. Now, look, for those of you, I should have said for those of us, but for those of you who are 40 plus, or forget even age has nothing to do with it, but you're looking for this person, they seem elusive, you've gone to the church, you've gone to the bar, you've gone to all the rugby games, you've gone to even KPL games, and even online, this book is hilarious. And you've been so open about it.
Yes.
Like really open, like even I reading out to be like, woo! It's that kind of book. So yeah, you started to leave and you wanted to date again.
Yes. So what happened was, I went, after my father's funeral, I went back to England.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, how do I want to find happiness
Yes.
again. And there's this feeling that I had found happiness in Jeremy.
Yes.
So surely I was going to find happiness in another man. You know,
easy. They come easy, right? Next door like Jeremy. Why not?
Yeah, why wouldn't it happen again? So, but I had this complete guilt that I was betraying Jeremy. So I had to first ask my sister, is it okay? My aunt, is it okay? All my dance students, and everybody was so positive. They're like, oh, we're so happy you're moving forward with your life. It's not that you're betraying your memories. You will always have Jeremy in your heart. But you are looking to have a good time in a way, because actually I wasn't looking for a soulmate. I was looking for fun. I was looking for companionship, because I was lonely, really lonely. It's all right, you have friends, you have family, it's not the same. So anybody who knows me knows that I don't do things by halves. You know that, Catherine.
You go, we just see you've left. You have left.
So in 7 months, I spoke to over 50 people online, and I dated 21 guys in 7 months. Yeah.
Hey, you had a... You dated 21 guys in 7 months?
Yeah. I was busy.
All found online?
Yes. Every one of them found online.
Yeah.
And
what's your best knobhead story?
Actually,
what's a knobhead even?
He's just an idiot, really. So knobheads are idiots who just, yeah, real. And then nut jobs are the crazy ones. And there were a couple of nice guys.
And nice guys, okay.
Yeah.
Who cares about the nice guys? We'll talk about the nice guys later.
Yeah.
So the knobheads.
So actually, I think the one that, actually I can't say, because in the book I say I let you decide who the knobheads nice.
Okay.
So you have to read the book and decide for
Yeah.
yourself. But there were some very interesting stories.
Yes.
I got, yeah, I'm not sure I want to talk about this on national TV. I think my mother's watching. But I'm very honest about it. I'll tell you why I'm honest about. I talk about relationships, I talk about physical relationships, emotional. I talk about how the online dating is a very murky world.
Yeah.
I talk about,
tell me about it.
yeah, the different, yeah, how people will ghost you. I talk about all that because I didn't know. And then here I am on this adventure, and I'm like thinking all guys out there are
Like,
really
Jeremy,
they're
nice,
lovely.
available, present.
Oh my goodness, no. It's not like that at all. So then I wanted to be very honest. I wanted people who have not dated or are dating in their 40s because maybe they've come out of a relationship or divorce or whatever, to see what the reality is.
Yeah.
So I talk very honestly about
Yeah.
a lot. And I think this book might be a little bit scandalous in Kenyan
It
society.
is lots of scandal. I mean, I couldn't take it.
And you're very open-minded. But I think it's an important story to tell.
Yeah.
And it's also authentic. I had been very honest with Always With You. I made people laugh, I made people cry, and then I gave people hope at the end that life is about living and moving forward. So why would I not be authentic
Honest as well.
in this book?
Yeah.
So if you are at all easily offended or feel scandalous about it, don't read it.
Yeah.
And that's the honest truth. But if you want to know about what online dating really is like, go for it.
Yeah.
And I think having spoken to people who read it here, I did my online dating in England. It's no different here. It's the same.
Yeah.
The emotions are the same.
The knobheads are here. The nut jobs.
Are here.
Many other terms that are not coming to me right now.
Yeah.
Wameja hapa.
Yeah.
Do you know Swahili, by the way?
Very badly. And you always laugh at my Swahili because I say it in an English accent.
You just know guashe.
Guashe. By the way, guashe is like sweet potato, right? I can't believe we're talking about that. I learned that word the other day on the photo shoot.
Karis, you're muted. Okay. So online dating. Look, I don't think people will feel offended reading it. The thing is, people will be perhaps surprised or amazed at the raw candidness, like it's raw. So not that raw. Maybe I'm also exaggerating. I'm always the conservative type.
It's raw. I'll tell you why I wrote it. So I had dated for 7 months, and there was a guy that I particularly liked. I call him, by the way, I don't name them in here because I don't want to be sued.
Yeah.
And he's called the affectionate introvert because he was very affectionate, he was introvert, and I actually fell for him. I really liked him.
Yeah.
And he just one day he said to me after 2 months, he's like, I can't do this. I can't give you what you need. I want something casual, and you're getting too attached. And he literally, we were sitting in a restaurant, he literally walked up and walked out of my life.
Jesus.
And I was just like, okay. And actually, in hindsight, it was absolutely the right thing to do. He was so wrong for me. He wasn't, he didn't in any way, he didn't fulfill me in any way. And I think he was right, but at the time I was lonely.
Yeah.
But I also, after a week, got so angry that somebody would treat me like that. On the way from England to Kenya, because I was coming here anyway, I wrote this book on the plane. I wrote 3,000 words on the plane, and I finished the book in a week.
Wow.
That's the power of that anger. And
thank you, your anger, for giving us this book.
And then it took me 6 weeks to edit it because I realized I can't say that, I can't say that. And but still, I felt that was a very important book at the time. The lesson that came out of this book was, I can't find happiness in somebody else until I am happy with them. So I stopped dating, and I decided, in fact, after the book was published, I dated a bit more and then realized it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
And I had done my research and development for the book, so I don't need to do anymore. But also, I needed to work on myself before I could find somebody else. And that was then that next stage of my life.
And which birthed a book.
It did.
The third book.
Yes, the third book. So the third book is called Happiness, Is It a Mindset Shift? I'm launching it here in Kenya in March. And then it will be launched abroad. So these books were launched in England and are available on Amazon worldwide.
This was actually an Amazon bestseller, right?
It was an Amazon bestseller.
Yeah.
Within 3 months of it being published,
Wow.
it became an Amazon bestseller.
Yeah.
So I think it just touched so many people's
Yeah,
lives.
yeah.
And the kind of feedback I've got from these books are just incredible.
Yeah.
Really incredible. People are very touched by that, and people think this is hilarious.
Yeah, and the happiness one
So the
is...
happiness is completely different. So what I decided to do was I had to work on my own happiness. And I didn't know how. Catherine had forgotten how to be happy. I was finding happiness, but it was very transient happiness through these dates and buying new shoes and having my hair done and stuff, but it wasn't deep contentment. So I went back to my teachings. I'm a dance teacher, I'm a meditation teacher.
You're a mindfulness
I'm a
coach.
mindfulness coach. So I went back to these teachings and I started applying them back in my life.
Right.
And I came up with 10 techniques and I started embodying them in my life.
Wow.
So it wasn't just I would go to dance just when I started embodying. I would dance every day, I would meditate every day. I practiced gratitude every day. I started exercising, so I got a personal trainer. I started seeing what I was eating. I stopped drinking. I'm not a purist. I will still have my glass of wine and my tiramisu and chocolate cake when I want to, but I will not. I don't deny myself, but I don't have that obsessive behavior that I had before. So I practiced these 10 techniques and I realized that I was beginning to feel happy again. And so I started talking about this because what is the purpose of life? I believe, and from what I've read, and the Dalai Lama says, the purpose of life is happiness. That's not the hard question, that's the easy question. We live life to be happy. What creates happiness? What gives us happiness is the hard question. And is it the car? Is it the job? Is it the big house? Is it the clothes? What is it? And actually, I started studying this. And the studies show that if you look at it genetically, we are happy genetically. 50% of our happiness is reliant on our genes.
Right.
Are we predisposed to be happy or not?
Okay.
And we have to work with that. 10% is reliant on extrinsic factors, such as the car, the job, the age. 40%, and that's a huge amount, is what we work on, is intrinsic factors.
Wow. Okay.
It's our peace of mind, it's our gratitude, it's altruism, so giving back to charity, giving back to those who are more needy than you, looking after your body physically, your mental health.
Yeah.
So it's your physical, mental and spiritual health
Right.
that is 40% of your happiness. And yet as a society, we focus on the 10%, on the car, on the big house.
Yeah.
And so, which is why in our societies, both Western and here indeed in Kenya, which I'm beginning to learn quite quickly, mental health issues are such a big problem.
Big deal.
We have, Kenya is the 6th most depressed country in Africa. How is that possible when we're such a forward-thinking
When it's the
nation?
second best economy in Africa.
Exactly that. Okay, people are not happy. So I began to look at these techniques and I decided I wanted to share them.
Yes.
So I've written the book.
Yes.
It's currently at the printer.
Yes.
And it will be available and launched here in Kenya.
So when's the launch?
The launch is mid-March.
Okay.
And the books will all be available at Textbook Center.
Yes, Textbook Center.
Across the country.
But if anyone wants to have a copy now, how should they get in touch with you? Or even just to have a conversation?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just get in touch with me via social media at JustJoom, JustJoom. I'm on all the platforms on social media. Yeah, you can find me.
TikTok, Instagram?
Instagram, definitely not TikTok.
Not yet.
Not yet. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yes, just say that handle again.
At JustJoom, JustJoom.
Yeah. Okay. So you're back in Kenya now?
Yes.
Yes. So you came back. So you relocated from London?
Well, sort of. And then,
Girl.
yeah, no, hang on, there's a story there.
Okay.
So I was only coming back for 3 months.
Okay.
And then I was going to go back to England and I was going to travel the world. I had planned to go work on a vineyard in Tuscany and yeah.
Until we met.
And
I had her story. And I'm like, hold on. And then?
And yeah, I've had to cancel Tuscany.
Yeah.
So yeah, we met via social media. I think it's a very powerful story. We just
To this
connected.
day, I don't understand it, but
No,
yeah.
we just messaged each
Yeah.
other, and then we went for lunch.
Yeah.
And it was just supposed to be coffee, which became a 4-hour lunch, and we talked about the books, and then I was telling you what I did, and then I asked you. I said, do you think you should do a program on KTN on mental health because it's such a big? And you said no. You said no, I don't have time. And then you said to me, but Charlie, what would you like to do a show? And I was like, what? Never hosted a show. And I think our meeting was serendipity. We have a lot of connection, which I'm definitely going to write about in my next book. But also, I do believe that, I know this sounds weird to some people, but I do believe Jeremy brought us together.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
We share a birthday with Jeremy.
So yeah, Catherine shares a birthday with Jeremy. And I think that's just wild. I think the universe is I think the other thing is I came to Kenya with no expectations. I came to reconnect with family, to reconnect with old friends, and to make new friends. That was how we connected, actually. And I was, for the first time in my life, I am here with time and space to listen to the universe. I've not had that for 23 years. I was so busy hustling all the time. So I was ready for anything to come my way. The only thing I was going to do was launch my book here, and then I was going to go traveling. But I'm here now. We are launching a new show.
Tell the people what's about.
I'm very excited, very excited. Can't sleep at night. We're launching The Art of Well-Being in March, around the same time as the book, so it's all going to be happening in March. We're going to be talking about mental health issues, but we're also going to be talking about things that people are not talking about in Kenya. Depression, obesity, IVF, menopause, you name it, we want to talk about it. And we're going to be open and we're going to be authentic in our conversations, because we so owe it to ourselves, and the society here so owes it to itself to talk about these things. So let's really rock the boat. Contact us if you're interested in being on the show. Contact us if you're interested about talking about these things. And no subject will be taboo. So really excited about this.
See what a natural you are. But it's not only the show like keeping you up at night, like you like things like sushi, like, you know, when you eat good food.
I am. I'm very much a foodie, but I am definitely not going on any cooking shows. So I would do everything.
Okay,
yes,
so but we missed out on the nice guys bit. So like, is there anything happening on that front? You know, the nice guys. Okay, is there like a book coming up for nice guys?
You're very naughty, Catherine. This isn't going in the program.
I'm just innocently asking.
No, I'm reconnecting with old friends. And
okay.
I'm not dating, so I'm really not, because I don't need the baggage.
So you're
right now.
single and available.
Yeah,
so it's
single.
got my eyes.
It feels like this has become a dating show.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Single and available.
Well, the truth is that you and I have both promised to find
Don't
men
put
for
me
each
there.
other.
Don't put me there. Don't put me there.
I'm going to be the Charlie the Tinder of...
The Tinder in my life.
Yeah.
No, but okay, fine. Maybe the question should be, you're open to a relationship.
I am.
A full, honest, wholesome, authentic relationship.
I absolutely am. I'm not going out looking,
no.
But if it comes my way,
yeah.
I'm not saying no. I have a lot of love to give. And I feel that I want to be in a relationship. I'm good in a relationship.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, it's part of life.
Yeah.
Connection, love, relationships are part of life.
What if you meet a nice man who says to you, look, I really want us to be together, but I kind of feel like you're still into Jeremy a lot, so I don't know, will I have room in your heart?
I've had that on my dates. A lot of guys have questioned
Maybe the next date.
Yeah.
Should the next date ask that, what would you say?
It's true. Jeremy will always be part of my life, and he will always be my first love, and he will always be my soulmate. But that doesn't mean that I don't have love to give.
Okay.
I think we as human beings have huge capacity to
True.
love. And I think if I look at somebody, I won't be looking at him as Jeremy, I'd be looking at him as himself.
Yes.
And I will love him for him,
yes.
just like he would love me for me.
Yeah.
And we would grow in our relationship. So as long as we had that respect, yes, he would have to accept that I have a past, but don't we all, especially at this age? And that's all I can say.
Like, don't get
really.
hung up on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I will treat him as an individual.
Yeah.
But he would have to be man enough to understand that I did have this love, and I still love Jeremy, and I still see him as my husband. but he's not here.
Yeah.
And you can't compete with somebody who's not
No.
here. So that's the honest way of looking at it, really.
You've heard, eh? You know who I'm talking. You've heard. Good boy. Charlie, thank you for being on the show. Man, thank you. This has been a long time coming, but I'm glad we've done it. All the best with your show as well.
Thank you.
I'm really looking forward to lots of healing testimonies from all of those people going through things and they haven't had the space to talk about them or the person to talk about them too. Yeah. So people at times find it relatable to speak to somebody who's been there.
Yes.
And you have been there. And I believe that your show will be such a healing platform for many. So I wish you the best with that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure being here, and I'm so excited for this show. I can't tell you. It's going to be amazing.
So let us know when the launch will be once you confirm the dates.
I will do.
And we will invite you for the launch. It should be free of charge.
Absolutely.
Yes, the launch will be free of charge. Come get to meet her, come get to have a conversation with her. Even for authors, up-and-coming authors who wonder, how do I get my book on Amazon? How do I get into publishing? Like she's helping me with my book.
Yes.
Did I just say that?
Yes.
Yeah, she is. So she has all of these insights and knowledge on how you can get your book out. So we will let you know when the launch will be. Maybe even it's right there on your screen. How people say it's right there at the bottom of your screen. You can see it. Yeah. Until next week. Ciao.